And welcome back to Dials. This is Sam Shepik joined with,
Ben Hamer.
and we are back here at Walker Classic 2019, and we have two very different lists from last round. Of this 4 Black Squadron heroic list from the Resistance, and then what do we have for the Rebels there?
We've got some Luke Wedge Alpha Strike with AP5 in support, and I am really excited to see this list fly.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see the contrast of both of these lists as they go up against each other. You know, two of these heavy striking Alpha Strike monsters against 4 just basically kitted out.
Yeah, just 4 of the same thing where you don't really have an obvious first target. I mean, you can Alpha Strike one of those T-70s off the board potentially pretty easily.
Well, I guess that's
But-
obvious then, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I mean, of course, when there's 4 identical T-70s on the board, one of the T-70s will be your target. But you know, there's no clear advantage to be gained from targeting any individual one of them.
No, that is true. And they're all kitted out with that heroic, so that if they do blank out on those green dice, which is more than likely, they can re-roll those and hopefully get some paint.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then that Alpha Strike list, it looks very interesting here that they're both choosing to just ignore all of the obstacles and they're just going to go right at each other here.
Yeah, I definitely think we'll see an initial joust. You know, normally you'd see ships with the initiative that Luke and Wedge have kind of try to fly on the outside and come in at an angle, but these T-70s are just not going to let it happen. They're just all going to fly straight at each other.
And it's interesting that he's not trying to drag those T-70s through some of the obstacles and try and break up a little bit of their formation.
Yeah, I really do think he's just trying to fly in fast as he can with those protons and just take one of them off the board before it can ever shoot back.
The positioning will be interesting because I think those right T-70s are just going to come in and pile in some damage there probably. It's almost like he's just going to come in and wreck. Is that Luke? I guess Luke could potentially try to tank all of that.
I mean, Luke, of the two between Luke and Wedge, Luke is the one better equipped to tank all of that with his force recovery.
And on average, it will only be 2 hits.
Yeah.
Guess we'll see.
Luke will always have at least 1 force against every one of those ships.
Right. And probably target lock somebody. This is also, I mean, they're just, the players are going right at each other, just like the last game.
Yeah. I think we might see another just bloodbath brawl. That was a really hard 3 words for me to get out without fumbling.
This isn't football, Ben. We don't fumble. And the coordinating from AP5 there onto Luke for a barrel roll.
Definitely trying to adjust his positioning. I'm almost worried about AP5 being turned in like that in a place where he might get caught out on his own, but I think he's also trying to use that gas cloud as kind of cover to preserve his Leia.
I actually very much like that maneuver because now he can turn out and use his rear arc and sort of pincer them as they pass through the aces.
That is a very good point.
Not that 2 dice are anything to write home about.
I mean, yeah, but it's something. It's a way to potentially burn a token.
Right, and then that also forces the T-70 player to decide whether or not he's going to chase AP5 or turn around and go back after those X-Wings.
Exactly, yeah.
And we see a barrel roll from a focus barrel roll. His foils must be closed. As those T-70s, the contrast between those S-foils, you have the T-65s that if their S-foils are closed, they can focus boost, and the T-70s can focus barrel roll if their foils are closed.
The T-70s have just, their foils are a lot more advantageous. They're a little more effective on an ace than they are on a generic like this, but they can still get their full attack with their primary as long as they are in bullseye.
Right,
Which,
and
with this many bullseye arcs,
it's hard to escape that.
yeah.
But I think the only one that is closed may only have bullseye on AP5.
Yeah. For now, anyway.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, my first target is definitely Wedge is probably the first target I
Oh,
want to go after.
For sure. Wedge is going to be a lot easier to kill than Luke, and he's a lot more offensively threatening than Luke is.
Right.
And here we have target locks from both Luke and Wedge on Black Squadron number 1. Yeah, definitely trying to wipe one of those off the board before it can never shoot, which that's what Alpha Strike does.
I mean,
Go figure.
here we go. Strap in, line up your proton torpedoes, and fire away.
What did I just walk into?
That visual gag doesn't work because anyway.
It's okay, so should...
It's Sam saw it, it's fine. It was me strapping
Yes.
into a X-Wing. Anyway.
I can vouch for this. We have a roll from Wedge. Looks like one crit and
one
a
crit
lot
and a
of
focus.
blanks.
Yeah, so I saw a crit, focus, and 2 blanks.
Whoa, into 2. Oh, I guess
Oh, that must have been a hit to
it
start?
must have been. I guess.
And
And
we've got
then
the
we've
one
won
evade.
evade.
So we had 2 hits and a crit with the proton torpedo ability, and then 1 evade. So 2 shields down on number 1.
And something to take note to: heroic won't proc off of 1 dice.
That's true. Yeah.
So
Wedge is a
Wedge-
huge threat.
Yes, he is a huge threat in this matchup. And here we go, Luke. Ooh, again, only 1 hit to start with a reroll pending.
Luke at least has the advantage of having 2 force. Ooh, that
2
roll
crits.
hurts.
Not what he wants to see there.
So 2 crits and 2 defense with a focus coming from number 1.
Okay, so does he spend the focus here?
I would definitely spend that.
Yeah,
focus.
otherwise you're taking a crit on the hull, so he
Yep,
loses his
so-
last shield.
Last shield down, and unfortunately, I have played a lot of Resistance, or I did when I was still playing. It's been a while.
Shame.
I swear I'll be back
Shame.
to all
Where's my
the
bell?
Colorado people who are wondering where the heck I've been.
Looks
for
like
6
we're
months.
trying to
Um,
measure for bullseye here on the next shot.
Yeah. So those 2 dice will always roll blank focus when you don't have any tokens when you're
Yes.
trying to get heroic.
Yes.
So here we had blank focus hit on Luke.
And he rolls that 1 evade. I think that was AP5. Because he
Oh.
was shooting for the
Yes.
bullseye.
Yes, that makes more sense.
So he evaded the shot.
He's
and
trying to take that. I think
support
probably
ship.
taking that Leia off the board as
Is a
fast as
big
possible
deal.
is a good, especially with AP5 being as low, like as not defensible. I can't come up with a phrasing for the thing I want to say.
He's not.
He's not very defensible
Right.
with giving his actions to other ships, and he does not have a lot of health.
And it looks like he rolled all the focus, and he's just going to take 2 and a crit.
Yep. So we've got
And what is that crit going to be? Direct. So that
and
kills
a direct hit.
AP5,
no,
right?
AP5
No,
has one
there's one
hull
left. Oh, yes, I'm looking at the
Oh.
wrong one. That's
Oh.
AP. AP is gone. Yeah, because he had 4.
Oh, because one.
Yeah.
He already had a hit.
He took a shield from the previous
That's
shot.
right. And AP5 is off the board, and not having that Leia is going to hurt him a
That was
lot.
a huge swing.
Because that Leia was the only way he was going to reset for a second alpha wave.
Right. And it looks like he pulls into the lead here with 38 points for that monster swing. One
And we
evade.
got 1 evade here. That was a huge get for Steve.
This was. Oh, 2 crits. Spend the focus. Hitting 2 crits.
And here we have 2 dice and
Spends the
Spend a
force.
force.
So 2 shields off Luke. Okay, so then Luke regens that force.
and we're
that-
on to the next
On
round.
to round 2, and
Back to dials, as some might say.
the ghost might say. But here we are. Ghost or no ghost, here we are. And
I'd like
so
to point out that with this being a back to dials stream, Neither of us were on the podcast.
No, but Adam was.
Yeah, but he's not here commentating, is he?
That's true, but he was always good at doing all of the electronic side of the podcast. So.
Adam does it so that I don't have to.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so then we're moving on to the next round, and this is going to be very difficult for Ken's maneuverability here, losing AP5 early.
Asa, if you're listening, we miss you.
And we have a question in the chat. Who is Ken playing against?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Dutch. I think you posted that a while ago.
I think Steve Simsky, if you have not already seen the name, is up in the upper right there.
Waiting on some dials. I'll take this opportunity to once again thank all of our sponsors who helped out donating prize support. Anthony over at Tabletop Legion, Ken, of course, with District Foundry.
And he's right here on stream
Yep.
for us.
You can see lots of his stuff being showcased around the table there, as well as John Conley for setting this whole thing up. And who am I forgetting?
Forgetting Adam for helping set up the stream this morning.
Guess we could thank Adam.
Yeah, we
No, thanks to Adam for being the best at running the tech in the biz. And also
and we saw a little thumb wave there from Adam. So alrighty, so looks like the dials are set. Looks like we're still waiting
on Wedge's dial.
Yeah.
So what do you think is Ken's play here now that he's lost his support ship and is in kind of this head-on position?
That's a really good question, because I feel like no matter where he goes, he's going to have an arc on him. So he could either slow roll, which I don't know if that's really the right maneuver.
I don't really think there's so many guns that are going to be on him if he slow rolls. I almost feel like a fast maneuver and a boost to just reset himself.
Right. Because that's going to be a bump for sure. That first T-70 is just going to
That is
stay.
really unfortunate.
I don't know yeah. I'm surprised he did that, honestly. I thought he would do a Talon roll there.
Yeah, Dutch says that was NPR a good trade. NPR. Anyway, that was a good trade. AP5, 2 torpedoes, 2 shields, all just not a good trade.
Well, and
all just for 3 shields. That was a very good trade for Steve.
Yeah, Steve.
That was not a good trade for Ken.
Steve is going to end up in he has a really good position right now, so it's going to be very hard for Ken to get out of here. If he did the fast maneuver, just doing a 4 straight and getting out, that was definitely the right call based on what Steve is giving him right now.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would have done. Dutch, why aren't you here? What's up with that?
He was even talking about practicing last night, I think, for the Walker Classics at Black and Gold, which is now Mythic Games, I think.
Dutch, why have you done this? So here we have all of these T-70s trying to collapse in on the T-65s. You can definitely see with the turnaround from number 2 that Steve was hoping that number 1 would also complete his maneuver. And, I mean, obviously you're always hoping they complete their maneuver. He says he was helping other people practice. Not practicing himself because he doesn't love us enough to come.
That's his
That's
loss.
Not true.
All right, and we get a Luke maneuver here.
Yeah, so I think a fast maneuver with a boost gets him out of a lot of arcs here.
Right.
And it looks like that's what he's doing. It
Here's
looks
the
like a 4
question,
straight.
though. Did he close his S-foils?
That is a good question. Ken is not one of our players.
Oh,
a
K-turn.
Ken is not one of our players who keeps the S-foils token on the table. So
Nope, they're right there. He's covering them right now.
Oh, I thought those were his target locks. I just can't see them, I guess.
Yeah, because they're foils.
to
Because
tell.
one's red and one's blue right now.
Oh, I
that's
see.
open and that's closed. Yeah, the red side is open and the blue side is closed. At least that's what I'm guessing. Here comes an after. Oh, yes, to dodge 1 arc. So he'll only take 1 shot
Yeah, so using the afterburners to get a free boost even while stressed, gets him some range 1 shots, and yeah, that's really good for Luke.
Especially since he's down 2 shields. He doesn't want to take very much fire, because if he loses 1 more hit point, that's half on Luke, and that's 40 points right there.
Yeah, I wish we had a way to keep track of charge counters on.
And here we go, another 4K
Oh,
turn.
cool. We do have a way. Here we have a 4K from Wedge as well. And no action there. Obvi.
Foils are open, see that it's on the red side again. All right, so
Definitely set up for some good shots here.
looks like Wedge is in some trouble this round, though.
Well, Wedge has a single range 1 shot on him, and then a range 2 from number 4. But that is going to have to pick between... Number 4 is going to have to pick between shooting at Wedge and shooting at Luke on who he wants the points on here.
And they're debating about... sounds like he's debating about which T70 to shoot at.
So we've got Wedge shooting at number 1. Looks like that's going to be a range 2 shot here.
Ooh,
Oh,
focus.
that is unfortunate.
Luke
And
range
here's
1, same target, because
Yep.
that's his only target.
4 dice. He's got 2 force, but
So
he
we got
doesn't need it.
3 hits.
And then we got 2 dice coming from number 1. And
Ooh,
2 evades. That was a good roll.
natties.
So 1 hull off of number
Give me
1.
natties in the chat.
That does get Ken some points.
Oh, was that that was
That's
the damaged one? Yeah, okay. So 38 to 25. And some defense dice coming in.
Ooh. We got
Yikes,
2
Luke.
and a crit coming in on
Console
Luke.
fire on Luke. Oh, it was
Oh,
Wedge?
on Wedge. My mistake. So it looks like 2 shields down and then a console
Oh.
fire.
Well, at least he's already activated this round. So no
Yeah.
console fire
No
this
console
round.
fire yet, but he's going to have to deal with that pretty soon. Here
Number
we've got
4
number
into
4,
Luke.
range 1 into Luke.
Hitting 2 crits. Oh, just 1 crit?
Ooh.
Yikes.
And
So
a hit crit goes through on Luke.
and that's half points off of Luke.
And a
fuel
fuel
leak.
leak on Luke, which is... I mean, it could be worse. He's already pretty close to...
Yeah,
If you're going to have to get a fuel leak, I guess now is not a terrible time for it. Yeah, Dutch, the greens are not going well for Ken today.
greens in general were not good in the last game either. It's just been brutal haymaker after haymaker.
Yeah. And both of these players did win their round 1 game, so they've definitely got their lists figured out. And once again, as we said last round, when you try to joust, one player is always wrong.
And in this case, it is unfortunately Ken.
I'm going to apologize in advance. I am getting over some mild bronchitis, so if I start coughing or spontaneously die in the middle of the stream, you know why.
Then I guess I should keep 911 handy on my...
You do or don't. It's whatever.
And so, I mean, the X-Wings are... The T-65s are obviously just doing a straightforward here, and then...
Yeah, and unfortunately for Ken, he needed those K-turns in order to get shots, but it set him up in a way that he has no out now. He can't run.
Right.
Which means he's just going to have to hope that he can take something down with him. Dutch says that both of his squad mates are getting their butts handed to them. It happens to the best of us. And also to me.
But you're not playing today, right?
Adam says that this is why he streams. So what do you expect to see from all of Steve's ships here? Do you think he's just gonna keep kind of making turns, and
I mean,
is he trying to stay on target? Is he gonna move some stuff for some blocks, or
I feel like the ones who are stressed obviously are just gonna clear the stress, and then the other two who are sort of rolling in behind are just probably gonna stay true to their course. I imagine number 3 there is just gonna try and set up a block, try and put a block on those blue maneuvers there.
that definitely makes sense. Dutch, yes, the 2-time defending champ is here, and Asa, we will figure that out at some point. I have been very busy. Maybe tomorrow.
And 4K turn from number 3, just hoping
Yeah,
to
so
catch
going for the guns on
something.
target method then.
Instead of the block.
You know, I mean, slow maneuvers are going to end up in that arc no matter what, and fast maneuvers are going to be blocked by number 1, so...
True. I think their fastest blue is a 2 straight, though, or is it a 3?
I think it's just I think it's a 3? Let's double check here.
Yep,
No, it
just
is a 2.
because the T70s is a 3. And it looks like a 1 bank from number 2 there. He's really
Yep.
just going to be out of the fight because he's
Yeah, I mean,
turned around.
by the time he gets back in, the fight will be over, I would expect, barring some very good green dice on Ken's part here. I mean, it is possible for Ken to survive this. It's not
It's only
the most
two,
likely scenario.
It's 2 unmodded
but-
shots
Yeah,
that he's going to have.
with
'cause-
Luke's ability, if they choose Luke, Wedge is going to be in an unfortunate position where he's either going to be tokenless to get rid of that console fire, or he's risking some
Death.
damage.
Death. He'll either choose violence or more violence.
Here we have a 2 bank from Luke, which might clear actually. Oh yeah,
Slides right in there.
that is really, really good for Ken. I actually did not think that would make it.
So now what do you do here? Do you try to barrel roll out? Nah, I don't think that gets you.
Yeah, I mean, I think any kind of reposition just isn't gonna a boost. Now you have an extra arc on you, and a barrel roll leaves you.
It leaves you
Well-
really out of position. In terms of that gas cloud, because you're probably right in front
Right.
of that gas cloud. I don't think you get out of number 4's arc there, even with a barrel roll.
I think you're right. So he is.
So
curing,
he's flipping fuel
curing-
leak?
He's curing his fuel leak. He will be repairing his fuel leak for his action. Yeah, I mean that's a good option for Luke, seeing as he has those 2 force tokens with his regen ability.
And maybe he has arc on number 1. I mean, just maybe.
Yeah, if he does, it'll be very.
Oh, he's regenning a shield with his
with
R2
that
Astro.
I forgot about the R2.
And flip over that console. Or
I
no,
already
not.
did. Console fire's on Wedge.
Bleh. My bad. I'm looking at the wrong X-Wing.
I did forget about those R2 mechs.
Okay, so now what's Wedge going to do? I guess we're debating about whether to close those S-foils or not. Looks like a 2 bank as well, following Luke. Which may be a... Well,
And do you think, does he go for the regen this round, or does he try to finish off number 1 with a good shot?
I mean, with that console fire...
Well, so I think he will have to use his action to flip that console fire unless he's very confident that he can bring number 1 down.
Sure, that's what will keep him from getting mods, which
Yeah,
will keep
I mean,
him from having a good shot.
But would you take the weapons disabled here to just regen a shield and live another day?
Right.
Seeing as he is in a pretty dangerous position.
So I don't know. I think he's making the right decision by just taking a shot, because if you decide to regen, then next turn you may not have a shot.
That is true. Here we've got 4 dice range 1 coming from Wedge into number
Ooh,
1.
Probably just keep it. 2 and
hits
a
and
crit.
a crit. Saving that focus for defense, which is definitely a good call. I think we may have missed a console fire trigger here. We have 1 and a crit going into number 1. And a reminder for the table, I believe we missed a console fire trigger.
And they're going to roll for that console fire here very quick.
Okay, here we go with our console fire roll. Throw it out of the tray.
Nothing.
And a focus. That's really lucky.
Right. No shot from Luke, and then we progress on to the T70s.
What do you expect to see here? Do you think
I think
Wedge or
I
Luke
go
are
after
gonna survive?
Wedge. I go after Wedge here and nix him off the board if you can.
Yeah, those look like they could be range 1 shots here, or at least 1 range 1. Yep, here's a range
There's
1, 3
3.
hits from number 3 into Wedge's 2 dice, so at least 1. Oh, that was a good roll.
Natties.
So 1 damage coming through on Wedge.
And now the second
And
range
now
one.
the other one. 1 hit. And Wedge does still have that focus.
And
he'll have to spend it.
Spend that. Very lucky turnout there for Ken.
That was really... he couldn't have asked for anything better.
It was those unmodded shots, but those unmodded green. Well, I
We've
guess
seen
those-
some unmodded shots do some
those
crazy things
that's
already today.
True. Those natties helped him out with the defense, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now, this.
Now we are back to dials. I expected one of these 2 ships to be off the board this round, so this is going pretty differently from what I thought I would see.
I feel like Ken's gonna have a. I mean, he still has an uphill battle because the majority of the T70s are behind Luke. So what do you turn Luke around here this round?
Well, you know, that's a tough question because he's hurting a lot, and turning around here into the face of all of these T70s is going to be a really big risk.
Right. So I guess do you go for more points here, or do you just?
I think you run with Luke, trying to use him as bait while Wedge just takes up the rear of all these T70s and tries to pick them off. Because Ken has a lot of damage he has to do here if he's going to start taking ships off the board. And
He has his work cut out for him.
yeah. And if he loses one of his remaining ships, I think that's pretty much it. The other one can't solo 4 ships.
This is true, but I don't know. I feel like he's, even if he doesn't lose his other ship, it's still going to be tough slugging for him to even get out of this hole that he's in 117 to 25.
Absolutely, but if his only attacker also has all guns focused on him, then it's a huge problem. If you can kind of force one of these ships to be bait,
Right.
while the other takes shots, with Wedge being the obvious shooter here.
Right. So we see a 1 straight there from number 1, expecting probably a K turn. He
And
fixed
he's
the loose
repairing his loose
stabilizer.
stabilizer. And here we've got a bank coming in from number 3
Not
to clear away that stress.
not caring about actions.
No action from number 3 with the bump.
Let's see what number 4. One bank. Also just trying to stay on target.
Definitely expecting that Luke to take some slow maneuvers, I think.
Slow or a K turn. And that last one there doing a 2 turn.
Keeping his stress and trying to get turned around.
Yeah, just wants shots. Shots.
Everybody. And, oh,
No.
did he clear?
Did he?
I.
What was the maneuver he did?
He did it too hard.
Was he stretched?
Did they have a green too hard? Am I wrong? We may have missed. Whose stress token is that? Was that Wedge's stress token? That was Wedge's stress token. Okay, our mistake.
Okay, cool.
Steve is a great player with 4+ ships at low initiative. He does a great job anticipating a couple turns ahead of time. Yes, I 100% agree. And we have seen that a lot of evidence of that here.
Well, and Ken also just decided to go straight in for the throat.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, you know, when you bet on a joust, someone is wrong, and had I been in Ken's position, I think I wouldn't have gone for the joust there. I think I probably would have moved along that back edge or just set up in the
Try
other
to
corner.
draw him in.
Yeah. Dragging these 4 ships through the rocks would have been his best bet, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, this is all hindsight, and...
Yeah, it's very easy to say these things when you're watching the game.
Right.
But...
Yeah. And he
We have
just
a
a 4
4
straight. And thinking about his reposition here.
I would definitely take a barrel roll left here.
Well,
Sets him up for some better maneuvers next turn.
the other question is, did he close those S-foils? Because then he could just focus into a boost.
That's true. He could do that as well.
And then, as you said before these maneuvers were all revealed, he could just regen a shield,
Yeah.
focus boost, and
Using
and
an
afterburners.
afterburners boost.
That's a big deal because that's the last charge. And
So,
no R2 charges.
no, this is Luke.
Oh, it's R2D2. So he's got one R2D2 left.
He has 1 left.
Yeah, because he
Are
recharged.
we missing a shield on Luke
He
here?
recharged 2 shields already.
Does R2 start with 3 charges
Yes,
or 4? Because our
3.
overlay started him with 4.
Oh.
Our overlay started him with 4 charges. Interesting. So 1 charge left on R2, 2 shields back up on Luke. And that actually took some points away from Steve.
That actually did, yes. So now we're back down to 74 to 25, closing the gap a little bit. It's much more interesting at that point as
Yeah.
well. I don't think he could do the same thing with Wedge.
Yeah, Wedge is in kind of an awkward spot here. He's not going to get shot at. Obviously, he's kind of in that position that I was talking about before of
Wanting to
kind
be in
of
the back.
taking up the rear while Luke gets chased.
Probably a 1 straight here. What do you think? Oh, no, he's going fast.
Marking some ships to get stuff moved.
So now Wedge is indeed in trouble.
Yeah, I think I probably would have taken a 1 straight here to keep him out of harm's way.
Well, and it's not like Ken actually saw where these guys were going to line up, but that indeed was not the right call at this time.
Medium Potato 84 says Ken's heart of a champion will close the gap. Yeah, so now we've gone from no guns pointed at Wedge to 3 guns pointed at Wedge with 2 remaining hull. And it looks like that was a bump as well, which is...
It adds just salt onto the wound there.
I mean, he can at least take an R2 charge here, which, why would you not?
I think he missed that trigger.
Is that
Not
not
sure.
post-maneuver anymore?
It is not post-maneuver, no.
Oh. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, because you declare using it when you reveal the dial.
Oh.
So you reveal the dial and then you declare whether or not you're using your R2.
Is Ken wearing his Lab Squad t-shirt? If not, he's dead to me. I don't know. I can tell you that he's wearing a striped sweatshirt and some hair. Because that's all I can see.
Okay, so Wedge took 1 damage from console fire. He's down to 1 hull left on Wedge. I'm pretty sure that spells doom for
I
Wedge.
think that's the end of Wedge here.
He's going to get a wedgie from those 2 X-Wings behind him.
Go home, Sam.
You know you like my puns. And it was... I missed that roll. Wedge dies.
Yep.
He takes a lot of crits. Okay.
So
cool.
he has taken a hit, a hull breach, a damage sensor array.
I don't think our overlay goes into negatives, so...
Well, that's just... They weren't very forward thinking, were they?
No, they were not. What's wrong with these people?
We're kidding. Your overlay is wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we're going to get some more shots into Luke here,
Dutch
potentially.
says, right up the crack, eh, Sam?
I just like to hit him where it hurts.
Luke still alive with 40 minutes left, and that's all Ken needs. I mean, it is Luke, and Luke does not die under any circumstances.
He did spend the force there and took no damage there. There we
Here
go.
we
There's
have
a
a
force.
force being spent. These tokens look great on stream. I love these. Thank you, Anthony.
Let's see. And there was a discount that we had for Walker 19 for Legion.
Tabletop Legion.
Tabletop Legion, that's right.
You can find him on Etsy or just Google it. Or we might have a link on our post-game overlay. I am not sure.
And that is for 30% off of all products in his store as well.
Yeah, it's a great discount, and he makes really good stuff. I use a lot of his stuff, as well as we'll go ahead and plug Ken since he's on stream. District Foundry also makes really good stuff. I personally use his template tray.
And you can
every
see
game.
his template tray up in the upper right there. I also have a template tray as well for my stuff from District Foundry. I can say I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff. Stores all your cards, your dice, your dials, everything. I need to get one of those new, deep bottoms that he made that fits your ships and everything.
You mean if you ever play X-Wing again?
All right, listen here, Sam. I move in 2 weeks, and then I'm back into X-Wing.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I'll start hosting X-Wing nights at my house.
Ooh,
You
there
mark
we go.
my words on
We're
that.
talking now. All right. I'll be there. Cool. So, we're just going to see Luke chased around by 4 T-70s, and I think 40 minutes is all they need to rip Luke to sunders.
Yeah, I mean, I think Luke is going to, at the very least, take one down with him, but I'm struggling to see how Ken can pull a win out of this, but I have seen crazier comebacks.
And there's that Colorado 2 bank that we should probably do a giveaway for at some point.
Yes, we should probably do that as we're nearing the end of this game and watching Luke run away set to Yakety Sax. I will come up with some trivia questions for our prizes. And by that, I mean I will Google some trivia questions for our prizes. Unless Sammy has any off the top of his head.
Not any good ones off the top of my head. They're all lame duck questions. Oh, that is, but actually, Adam just plugged one.
Yeah, Hey Adam, what's the answer to that question?
I know the answer to the question. So
all right,
we're good.
so we can once we go into our dial reset, we'll probably do a question for we just had the Colorado 2 bank template on screen. Let's do one of those for our trivia giveaway.
Okay.
So a reminder, we're going to do a trivia question. First person in chat to answer correctly will get the prize, and we will get that to you either shipping or if we know you personally, we will just get it to you. If you have already answered correctly, let some other people guess, because why would you need two of the same prize? Unless you're hoarding them.
And
stockpiling for the apocalypse.
Responding back to Medium Potato there, I really think that 4 T-70s against Luke, I don't care how good a player you are, if you only have 2 hull and 2 shields, I don't think there's much chance for you to weather all of these T-70s.
Yeah, but we did just see one taken off the board. That's some dice taken away.
That is 25 points back in Ken's favor. And that closes the gap to within 60 points.
Oh, and for the record, that dead X-Wing did get a weapons failure, which, I mean, yeah.
Weapons failure.
Your weapons do fail when you explode.
And you panic too, so shouldn't you have a panicked pilot as well?
This trivia question that I found just says, who is he taking him to? That's the whole question.
It's like 3 hits into 2 evades after spending the force. Luke takes
so we'll
a
see
shield,
one more shield off
and
of
that's
Luke
half
here.
points back in Steve's favor, so the
Yep.
lead increases.
And he does have 1 charge of R2 left, so... Oh. We may have misheard here, and Luke may not have lost that shield after all.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. I thought
Never mind. Scratch the thing we said.
Clearly, we are inept.
What's this we business?
We? I can speak for you, right?
Ugh.
And we
All
are
right,
back to
so-
dials, so we need to do our giveaway here. And the question for this trivia here is, what is the Mandalorian's armor made of?
First person in the chat to get this correct will get one of the 2 bank templates. If you've already gotten one correct and won a prize, give some other people a chance.
There it is.
And there you go. And Dutch, you have nailed it. So Dutch, we will get your prize to you. If you would prefer we send it over to you so you don't have to see us, we can do that.
Or hear
but
our
somebody
puns.
will see you. And we will have our second question ready before the end of this round.
All right. Who is the first couple? Do you know? And then it was... Okay, it looks like we have our I was not paying attention, so I'm not going to speculate on what is happening on the board state here. It looks like Luke has yet to move, so it'll be interesting to see what Luke does.
Dutch says we can give it to Potato. All right, medium Potato. We will go ahead and get in contact with us through the Back to Dials Twitch account. Just send a PM with your info, and we will get that sent over to you. Direct message, private message. You guys can't hear Adam saying the things, so I realize that I'm responding to a specter.
And we have some rolls from Luke. 3 crits and a hit into number 3 there.
That
was
is a
some
big
lucky
hit.
dice roll there. And probably going to spend the focus for number 3. Number 3 is saving the focus. All 3 of his shields are down on number 3 there.
That is a pretty good hit for Ken. That gives him a chance to
maybe
pull
crack
some more
this,
points out of
and
this.
maybe he will be the heart of a champion there. And then we have a hit crit from number 3 back into Luke. Luke is going to spend that force and take a shield.
Luke will lose that shield. This time we got it right.
And now the lead does increase on Steve. So focus for 2 hits from the last Black Squadron. And Luke is going to spend his force and take no damage. And Ken just reminding Steve that he always is regenning force. Yep, so 1 force.
Luke down to 1 force left. And we're back at dials. We're back
Okay.
2 dials.
And maybe we should find another question.
Yes, so Adam, if you look it up, we will use that question. So while I'm looking for some questions to ask, What do you think is Luke's next move to stay alive and
I was
get
just
some
considering
points?
that. It should. I don't know. I feel like I don't fly Luke too much. So maybe a K turn there to keep his guns pointed, or a sneaky little one bank or two turn and try and turn into the T-70s and maybe get some shots in on them. Even though he's blocked, he'll still have that force.
I could definitely see that.
So I feel like the counter to that, Steve's moves would be maybe K turns from the two unstressed T-70s and maybe just a one bank from that last T-70. I don't know. It's definitely a 50-50 flip on where both of these players are going with their ships.
Yeah, absolutely. They kind of have to read each other and bluff each other, and then bluff that bluff, and
Which bluff is it?
one of them.
Okay, here we go. Some maneuvers. Is this a Talon? This is a Talon. So stress for number 3. I'm surprised. I feel like a K-turn would have been better for number 3, but I'm not flying. So number 4 does the neat little one bank here. Try and creating a little bit of a kill box there for Luke. See if Luke decides to go into that kill box.
That is the question. He doesn't have a whole lot of options. Probably a one bank left just for the deliberate bump could be advantageous for him. Gets him a shot at number 2.
The best option right now. I think he's trying to debate whether or not he wants to close his S-foils right now, and then
yeah, so that probably means that he is expecting to clear his maneuver and needs some repositioning.
I wonder. Come on, Ken. Let's see that dial.
You got this, Ken. Heart of a champion.
You can do it.
I do like Dutch's comment of Luke dies this turn. Whoa.
Yeah, clearly no faith in his wingmate there.
Right.
Okay, so he is taking a weapons disabled for that last R2 charge.
Definitely not a bad move.
Takes away 40 points.
And
He's
he is
closing
his S-foils.
Oh yeah.
All right. And we have found our next trivia question, so after we see some action here, we will go ahead and ask that. So prep up all your Star Wars knowledge. We will be giving away our Salacious Crumb card this time around.
So it looks like we have a bump here from Luke.
Hey, Gold Squadron. How's it going? Asa's not here because he doesn't love us enough.
Yeah, he's sick. Or at least
In
he was
the
last
head.
night.
I think he's working.
Oh, is he working today? One or the other.
He could be sick and working. And there's the bump from Luke, so taking some shots into him.
2 hits and a crit here from number 4.
So he will take at least 1.
So we get 1 evade. So his last 2 shields.
And there's his shields and a spent force.
And now he cannot take back those 40 points from Steve either. And here's 4 hits. So that's a dead Luke.
There's the
that's
end
it.
of Luke.
Yep.
All right, so we are at the end of this game. Congratulations to Steve Simsky for this win. Before we go, we will do our last trivia question. Sounds like we might have some table deliberation here. We are trying to figure out how much force Luke has left in this. We are trying to figure out if Ken should be at full force or just one force. I believe he should be at one, having regened one from getting shot at and then spent it.
Right. And then
I believe we are in the correct state here. I'm not sure it makes a difference here, though.
it doesn't, because
he should
it's
still
still
take
2
2
hits.
Yeah. So
It
there we go.
still kills
Okay.
him.
That is what I thought.
Either way.
Ken is always at full force. So congratulations to Steve, and for a promo card here, we have our last trivia question for the round. And our question for you guys, first person in the chat gets the card.
And the card is a Salacious Crumb.
Yes, thank you, Sam. So, question for the chat. Who was the only non-Jedi in the original trilogy to use a lightsaber?
First person who responds with the correct answer in the chat gets the Salacious Crumb alt art card, so you can cackle maniacally for
Once
the
per
rest
turn.
of your games.
Again, who was the only non-Jedi in the original trilogy?
Done.
And they got it. Medium potato. Han Solo. Nailed it. Don't apologize. You have not already won one of the cards, so you are good. We will have more giveaways later for other people.
And
Don't worry about it.
He's gonna message in the Back to Dials Twitch.
You are not a jerk. Medium potato. Thank you, Medium Potato, for participating and answering our questions so that we are not shouting into the void. So once again, send your info over to us at the Back to Dials Twitch private messages, and we will get you your Salacious Crumb card and your Colorado 2-bank template. All right, thanks for joining us for round 2. We will be back shortly with round 3. I do not have our timer for that in front of me. Looks like we're still about 20 minutes out from the end of this round. So
30 minutes,
Yeah,
and then
so-
we'll be back for round 3.
thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you back soon.
My name's Sam.
My name's Ben.
Peace